Hey guys, my name is Tito. I make videos on personal finance on my other channel. On this channel, I talk about other things, like today when I'll be reviewing one of the most highly anticipated Nollywood films of 2025, Gingerrr. When a high-stakes heist becomes their only hope of escape from the life they know to the life they want, four women with nothing to lose, brought together by fate, must take a stand. Bound by a shared vendetta, they join forces to pull off a daring heist, but their alliance is tested when each one reveals a hidden agenda to betray the others. Now, I saw this movie on its opening day, Friday the 26th of September, just a couple of days ago, and lots of people have been looking forward to this movie because, first of all, the marketing has been really intense, but also four of the stars of the film also produced the movie. That's Bisola Aiyeola, Bolaji Ogunmola, Kiekie, and Wumi Toriola. They've really put their weight behind this film, so we've been expecting this movie for a while. And yeah, that said, let's dive into the review, beginning with the performances. Because this movie is currently showing in cinemas, this review will largely be spoiler-free so as not to ruin it for those of you who plan to go and watch it in the cinema. That said, Bisola Aiyeola, Kiekie, Bolaji Ogunmola, and Wumi Toriola in this film, as you probably have guessed, they play friends, right? They meet in their younger years and they're reunited in present day. And they're reunited because each of them is going through a very tough situation at the time and they need to solve one problem or the other. And this is what brings them together. And as individuals and collectively, they work well enough together. I wish there was a bit more fusion, with them. And I wish there was a scene in the film where they really sit down and they talk about the past and, why they were separated and, what's been going on with each of them in the years past, right? But that doesn't happen, but I wish that happened. And as you'd imagine with films like this, where there are these, where there's a crew, right? Each person has their own personality or temperament, right? They're different from one another. Kind of like that American film, The Hangover. Each of the guys had a different personality. Also in this film, each of the ladies has a different personality. One is eccentric and like loud. Another one is like a ghetto babe, right? Another one is a bit prim and proper. And another one is like really promiscuous. But yeah, they have different temperaments. And I do wish the character development was a bit better so that we would have known each of these ladies a bit more or a bit better individually. But hey, I guess the main thing or the main objective of this film was for the characters to work collectively, which they did. Let's move on to the supporting cast of this film, of which there's a number of them and of which there are also A-listers. You have Shafi Bello, Odunlade Adekola, you have Adedimeji Lateef, Blossom Chukwujeku, you have Timini Egbuson in this film, you have Adebowale Adedayo, aka Mr. Macaroni. A-listers, like I said. And what I didn't expect in this film was for there to be like a family dynamic in the movie, which apparently there is. And it makes sense because the whole family dynamic thing, as far as box office numbers go with Nollywood films, that tends to work. So the family dynamic is in there and it's kind of integral to the story. But I did not expect that. But coming to each of the individual performances from the supporting cast, they were quite good. Each character is unique in their own way, either by the way they talk or the way they dress or their backstory and all that. Special shout out to Blossom Chukwujeku, whose character, Blossom is a fan. He's one of the best actors in Nollywood, in my opinion, and he stood out in this film. I don't want to give away what made his character unique, but the person I saw the film with, she commended Blossom's performance, and she said that of all the unique characters in this film, his was the most consistent and, I think to her, the most entertaining. Who should see it? If you are a big fan of any of the big stars in this film, like you typically go and see any film that Odunlade is in, or Adedimeji Lateef is in, or Wumi Toriola, or Kiekie, or all that, right? If you're huge fans of theirs individually, then I don't think there's anything I can say that will stop you from going to see this film. I think you should see the film based on that. Because before I leave that point, when you look at the numbers of all the big stars in this film, you're looking at like almost 50 million followers on Instagram alone. If you take all their numbers and add them together, right? You're looking at almost 50 million followers on Instagram alone. And you just need like a percentage of that number to go and see this movie in the cinema. So they have a huge following. That's the point I'm making. So if any of these actors are your faves, then I guess you'll enjoy the film. Also, if you like a movie that's set in the trenches or in the ghetto, because this film is largely set in that kind of setting, then I think you'll enjoy the movie. If you like a film that has lots of plot twists and like twists and turns, and there's an element of backstabbing, and it's also like a heist film with, you know, lots of action, and, you know, there's drama in it as well. If that's your bag, right, then you may like this film. Finally, if you like Yemi Filmboy Morafa's movies, right, he's the director of the film, and he's directed movies like Aburo, Wura, the series on Showmax, right? He also directed The Party, which came out on Netflix just a couple of months ago, and he also directed that Jim Ike's movie from a couple of months ago as well. What was it called? Sin. Yes, he directed that as well. So if you've liked any of the aforementioned, chances are you like this as well. In conclusion, I have to say, though, that this film, I'm not the target audience for this film, right? I believe the producers of the film, they know who their core audience is, and I'm not one of them. But that doesn't mean that it's not a good film or a good watch at the cinema. Let me put it this way. My Father's Shadow came out like a couple of weeks ago. If that kind of artsy film is your cup of tea, I've reviewed that, by the way. You can check out my review of it. If that kind of artsy film is more your speed, then I don't think you'll enjoy Gingerrr. Gingerrr is more contemporary, right? It's more along the lines of, you know, lots of the big, you know, films, the movies from Nollywood that make lots of money, you know, from like Funke Akindele and AY and all that. You know, it's a large, high energy, high octane type of movie. So if those types of films are your cup of tea, then you'll enjoy this. But me, like I said, I'm not that target audience, but I'm very confident that the producers of this film, they know their core audience, and they will reach their core audience, and their core audience, which once again is millions and millions of people, they will go out and see this film in large numbers, and they will enjoy it, and this film will make lots and lots of money. That is my opinion. And I'm aware that I didn't say what I liked about this film or what I didn't like about this film. And I'm also not going to give it a jollof rating. Sorry, guys. I know you guys don't like it when I do that. And I'm not going to say why. I'm not going to give you the reason why. But what I will say is that I wish this film had a better third act. You know, that third act thing, for those of us who talk about Nollywood films, right? For a couple of years now, that has been a recurring issue. How Nollywood films like end things in the final act of the movie. They don't like really stick the landing or get the landing right most times. And not to say that they didn't get the landing or the ending right in this one. I just wish it was a bit better. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I guess that's the end of the review. Guys, if you enjoyed this review, I really hope that you did. Do me a favor and like it by clicking on the like button just underneath the video, and subscribe to this channel as well. By clicking on the black subscribe button. Please like it. Now, even though I didn't give a jollof rating, I didn't say what I liked, what I didn't like, please still like the video. You guys really don't like it when I do this, but please like the video nonetheless, and click the card in the corner of the screen to check out some of my past reviews. Also, if you've seen this film Gingerrr, or if you plan to see it, let me know in the comment section below. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts about this big film that, you know, we've been looking forward to, and I really do believe we'll make lots and lots of money at the box office here in Nigeria. Thank you guys so much for watching. Well, as I'm filming this, is September, but when this comes out, it'll probably be October already. There's lots of stuff coming out in October. Stick to this channel. Keep an eye out. I will be reviewing lots of things that will be coming out in October. Fingers crossed. Thank you guys so much for watching. For the final time, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.